All right, guys, good morning. Guess who we have here today? We have, what's your name?
Honda Pro Jason.
That's right. We're here in LA. He's giving me a little bit of his time right now real quick. Jason, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
And obviously a lot of people know you from YouTube, Facebook, and all these things. But we see all the work that you do for the community. But I personally want to know what brought you into Hondas, into the Honda scene. Like, what was your first car?
For sure.
You want to share something about that?
So since you asked what my first car was not a Honda. A lot of people are kind of surprised at this. My first car was actually a 1970 Cadillac DeVille convertible.
Oh my goodness.
It was my dad's car. I really wanted it, and that was my first car. My family's first Honda, and my first Honda was a 1987 Honda Accord LXi.
Nice.
And when we got it, I was completely blown away at the technology. Like, I couldn't believe how everything was built, how it was engineered, how it was put together. My family was primarily a GM family at the time, you know, General Motors, Chevy, stuff like that. And this car was totally different than that. It rode different, it handled different, fuel injected. Like, it was awesome. I really fell in love with it. So when it was time for me to buy my first new car, all on my own, bought a 1994 Honda Accord Coupe 5-speed. This thing was so cool.
Nice.
Like, I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much that I started taking it apart to see how it was put together. So I would disassemble parts of the engine. I put them back together. I go back into the service department and ask them at the dealership, why did Honda do this? Why did they put this valve here? Why did they, do this with the radio? And most of the guys there didn't know. They didn't have the answer. So I'm like, oh, let me go research it. So then I went back to them. I told them why they did it, and they didn't really care, honestly. So after going back to them for probably a year or two, they said, you know what? You love cars so much, and you love the Honda so much. Why don't you just sell them? So in 1996, 2 years after I bought my car, I started selling them.
So you started working for Honda?
I started working for Honda back in '96 as a salesman.
And it all started out of curiosity?
All started out of curiosity.
Very nice. So that kind of mixed together when you put them piece by piece together.
Yeah.
So now, can you tell us a little bit what you do? We always see you on your channels traveling. Like, we had a little conversation over here.
Yes. I do a lot of traveling. So I'm a brand ambassador, you can say. So I don't work for Honda, just to be clear. I work for myself, but I love the Honda brand. I love to share my knowledge about the Honda brand and my love for the brand with everyone in the world. So I do make YouTube videos, a lot of tips and tricks, how-to videos, walk-arounds, new cars, old cars, showing people's builds off from all over the world. Because Honda isn't just in America. Honda's everywhere, every corner of the earth. And I want to show people those builds from every corner of the earth. I also help train Honda salesmen on technology. So being a salesman myself, I know what customers are looking for, and I want to train the Honda salesman on how to use all the new Honda technology, from door lock settings to Bluetooth, Wi-Fi settings, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and I do deep dives with them so they understand completely how the system works. So when you guys go out and look for a new car, they can explain to you how cool and all the new functionality, so there's no misunderstandings.
And it's not like all that knowledge is given to you too, right? Like, you do your research.
No, I do my research.
Study.
I study for weeks before I do any sort of training. I just started doing training on the new 11th gen Civic, and the technology in that blows people away. But what I love is I love to show the salesmen technology on cars that they've been selling for 3 years, and they're like, I didn't even know the car could do this. Now, if they don't know, they're certainly not going to tell you guys how to do it.
Right. So it makes it easier for you to show them the tools to sell.
Yes, and then they hopefully can sell more Hondas.
I used to sell too, but not cars. So the more tools you have, for sure you can sell more.
Yes.
So that's awesome. You're helping salesmen to make it easier for them to sell cars and pass the information over to
and I'm helping the community.
Buyers. Right.
Because honestly, if you knew everything your current car could do, like if you have a whatever, let's say you have a 2 or 3 year old Accord or Passport or Pilot or whatever it is, if you knew everything that car could do, I guarantee you when you're looking for your next car, you're going to buy Honda. Because your Nissan and Mazda and Ford and Chevy, they won't do that. But if you're using your car to and from work and only using the Bluetooth to play radio or music on, then any of the cars will do that.
Right.
So I show them everything the Honda can do in hopes that when it's time for you to get your next car, you buy Honda.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So I'm pretty sure that all the places that you go to, all the dealers that you go to, I'm pretty sure they're thankful for you.
They love it.
It makes it easier for them to sell.
For sure.
That's awesome. Now, a little bit on the background of your car, going back to that.
Yes.
How was the car community, the Honda community back in those days?
So it was interesting. it was a lot more do-it-yourself stuff because there was really no internet. There was no social media.
Right.
So you couldn't really like just ask your buddy, you know, how to wire up these taillights or how to put these LEDs in or what do you do about the radio. You just kind of had to figure everything out by yourself. So it was a lot more just like learning from mistakes.
Right.
And then, you know, and then people started with forums and then social media. Now it's easy.
Right.
Anything you want to do, you jump on social media and you can find out exactly how to do it, what parts you need, what tools you need. It's simple. So
remember the time where Honda Tech came on?
Yep, I remember Honda Tech.
We log into our dial-up internet. We waited for the awesome tone.
Yep.
And those phones used to help a lot.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Now in the state that you live in, I always talk about this with all the guys because I grew up through it. There was a lot of car thieves back in those days.
Okay.
How was it in your state?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad at the time?
Not in Illinois.
Gotcha.
So I was in Illinois. It wasn't bad. I mean, you knew the areas where not to go. You knew where you shouldn't park your car. And I always grew up kind of with the garage, so my car was always safe in the garage.
Gotcha.
So I really had no issues.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. So it's just California, I guess.
It's a lot. You get more cars.
Yeah.
More cars, more people, more theft.
Yeah, it's true. True.
Yeah.
Now tell us about the Honda scene now here. Now that you're in California, you just experienced Old School Honda's event today. Thank you for coming on behalf of Isaac from Old School Honda and us. Thank you.
The Old School meet was insane. I mean, there were just like DAs for days. There were EGs, EKs, everything you guys can imagine. All the cool old school. People brought out their N600s, so old, like from the 70s old school. It was super cool. And a lot of these cars are in immaculate shape. And right-hand drives, left-hand drives, and the owners have such passion for the brand and their cars. It was great talking to them. I spent probably, I got there at 7:30, and we left at about 11-ish.
11-ish, yeah.
So yeah, I spent a lot of time talking to people, filming. It was really cool. And yesterday I was at more of a new car type meet, which is great too. There's still amazing passion. People that have the new FK8s, the new Civic Type Rs, the NSXs, they have S2000s, and again, just their passion is phenomenal. I love talking to them. I love hearing the stories.
Right.
Yeah, if you guys ever see me at a show, you have a story about your car, please stop me. I love hearing people's stories because for me, it's what it's all about. You know, I travel all over the world. I like to hear how people are using their cars or what experience you've had with your cars. It's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, because the car is just a car, right? It's like the personal stories that you hear, what people went through. The
places it's brought you, the things you've done in it. You know, I met someone that gave birth in their Civic. Yeah, gave birth in their Civic. I've heard, but
today?
Trust me, not today.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, what was that person?
No. I have heard some unbelievably outlandish, crazy stories, and they're amazing. I meet a lot of people.
Yeah, was it in one of the features that Honda had?
It was not a feature Honda had, no.
Like the headrest?
Honda does not have a birth feature, even though I think the Honda Fit would probably be the best way the seats go all the way down.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the EGs though.
There you go, true.
Oh man, I gotta hear that story. Okay, so you say you were at the Honda meet from 7 to like 11-ish, right? What took you longer to look at all the cars or to find me?
To find you. So our story goes back about, I think we've been talking for about 6 years. This happens to me maybe it's been longer than 6 years.
Probably.
This happens to be a lot. People see me on camera and then we talk off camera and I don't see them, but they see me, right? So they know what I look like. Right. And they know exactly what I look like. So when they see me, they assume I know what they look like.
That was me right there.
That was him right there. But not once when I met him the first time. So I called him. I said, hey, you at the meet? He goes, yeah, I'm at the meet. I'm like, cool, I can catch up to you in a little bit. Don't know what he looks like. I literally had a conversation with him. Didn't know who he was. I left. I came back, talked to him again. Didn't know who he was. And then when I came back the third time, before I came back the third time, I called him on the phone. I go, hey, dude, I really want to meet you. He goes, you're kidding, right? He goes, I knew you didn't know who I was. I was telling guys I didn't know who I was. And I walk up to him like, oh, that's you. There you go.
Yeah, guys, that was funny. I should have recorded it. Just heads up, it was on purpose. The first 2 times it was on purpose. That third time I was like, yeah, he'll figure it out.
That's funny.
But apparently not.
Yeah, on purpose on his behalf.
On my behalf, yes.
I honestly had no idea.
And just to let you guys know, he is very, very cool guy. He treated me like if he knew me, which it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, he knows who I am, that's cool. And no, he did not. It's pretty funny. I should have recorded, honestly. Now tell us about your current car.
Which one?
The newest one, we'll get to that one, but let's go with the oldest new one.
The oldest new one. So my oldest new one is a 1971 Honda 1300 Coupe 9S. Most of you have probably never heard of it. You guys can go Google it, or maybe I'll throw up a little picture of the car right here. It was actually Mr. Honda's last car he engineered, and for him, it was his best engineered car ever. So let me give you a little bit of information about the vehicle. Mr. Honda loved Pontiac Firebirds. He used to drive a Firebird back in Japan. So he really modeled this car after a Firebird. If you look at the front end, it's very Firebird look-like, and the gauges are very muscle car-like as well. It's powered by a 1300cc 4-carburetor, air-cooled engine with a dry sump. So there's an oil tank next to the engine. There is no oil pan underneath the car that contains any oil. So it's a very interesting, very different car. And the horsepower of this, keep in mind this is 1971, 116 horsepower.
That's fast.
It's a lot.
That's fast.
It's a lot of power. It revs out to about 8,000, 8,500 RPM. I brought mine up to 8,500 RPM. Probably shouldn't have, because it's a little bit old, like 50 years, but I had fun with it. And I imported it from Australia. They were made in Japan and exported to Australia only. It is the only one in the country. There's not another 71 Coupe 9S in the country. There's another Coupe 9. It's in a museum in Tennessee. I don't believe it's running. Mine's running with some issues, but I gotta figure those out eventually. The problem is there's no aftermarket support. There's no support for any sort of parts or replacement parts, or everything kind of has to be a one-off or found from another vehicle of that time period. So that's my 71.
And the good thing is that the Honda community is awesome. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna run into somebody.
In Australia, I've run into a couple of people already. I've talked to them in Japan, and they've been very, very helpful. So you're right. The Honda community is very welcoming.
Right. We help each other out. For sure, we're gonna get that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that figured out. And the car looks like this, by the way. It's like right here. I'm gonna put it up. Now let's talk about your new car.
My new car.
Yeah, the
so
beast.
I bought a 2017 Honda Civic. Well, let me step back a second. I flew to Swindon, England, where they build the Honda Civic Type Rs. They used to build the Type Rs. They built all the FK8s. So if you own a Honda Civic Type R FK8, it was built in Swindon, UK. That's the only place they build it. So I was able to fly there and actually film my own car being built. Now, as far as I know, I'm the only person in the world that's ever watched their own Honda being built at that factory. That factory is now closed, which means I will be the only person in history to ever film my own car being built. So after the car was built, I picked it up in New York, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew as soon as I bought it, I wanted to paint it Phoenix yellow, because Honda did make the Phoenix yellow color, and I thought they should have. I mean, it's the Type R color.
Right.
So as soon as I bought the car, about a month or two later, I was at an event called the IBOC Meet, and I had everybody autograph my car with a silver Sharpie. So I had thousands of autographs all over the car. About a month later, I brought it to the paint shop. They disassembled the entire car. Every panel, every nut, every bolt, all the glass, all the rubber, the engine, everything came interior completely out. They spray painted the car like it came from the factory, Phoenix yellow. I put a carbon fiber roof on the car and a couple other carbon fiber bits and a ton of Go Fast parts. And I had the very first Phoenix yellow Civic Type R in the world. Fast forward about 3.5, 4 years later, Honda comes out with a limited edition Phoenix yellow Civic Type R with, guess what? A black roof and a black hood scoop and different rims. So, and I was told they were actually gonna go with the bronze rims just like mine, but they decided against it. So they used my car as an inspiration to build the Honda Civic Alleys.
Who would have thunk, right?
I would have thought that just a dude, some guy that loves the brand, that started as a salesman, could influence a billion-dollar company that he loves. It's crazy.
To repaint the whole car, the whole lineup of cars, right?
Yeah.
Just because one person started it.
They invented a limited edition.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And the video is right here. Okay, you guys can click on it. Well, don't click on it.
Watch this one
watch
first.
It. Yeah, watch.
Then when we're done, you can go click on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Now tell us, what are your plans for I know your channel's been growing. I think I met you over the phone and internet. I think you had like maybe like 30 something thousand subscribers, and right now you're up to 140.
No, I'm about 170,
171,000.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I need to keep up.
Yeah, no.
So,
cool.
what are your plans for that? I know you travel to a bunch of places.
I travel to a bunch of places.
Which I think is awesome.
My plan is to ramp up, make more videos. I love the videos that are on there. I just think I could do more of them. You know, I think I do more training videos and more cars, and I want to show off more enthusiast builds. Because when I show off a build from Indonesia or, you know, Australia, Japan, it can inspire someone in another country or another part of the world to do something like that, or inspire them to change their car some. And if I can do that, I think that's great. I love showing people things that they might not be able to see themselves. Right. Not everyone can go to New Zealand or Japan, or fly the Honda jet, or, you know, ride the world's fastest Honda lawnmower. But if you can see it through my eyes, I love to show it to you. Right. And that's my vision from the very beginning. That's awesome. So just inspiration. 100%.
And spreading the word. The Honda is better than, in other words, they're better than other brands. Their own person.
I think Honda is the best brand out there.
Oh, you can say
for sure.
For sure.
100%.
Nice. That's confidence right there. That's good, man.
Yes.
That's good. And what else can you want to share with the guys, with everybody that's watching right now?
Well, one, I really want to thank everyone for their support. Like I was telling someone the other day that without you guys watching my videos, coming out to shows to see me, having your dealerships call me up for training at your dealership, I would still be a salesman, which is fine, but I don't think I'd be able to inspire as many people and do what I'm doing right now. I'm truly living out my dream. I absolutely love what I do, and I love traveling. I love meeting you guys at shows. I mean, I came all the way to California just to meet you guys at a show.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
I mean, that's 8 hours of flight time.
Right.
And it's worth it. To me, it's amazing. So if you guys see me at a show, please stop me, say hi, interrupt me if I'm talking to someone, grab me for a picture. I don't care if I'm talking to the president of Honda or Ichi-san from Spoon Sports. Stop me and be like, Honda Pro, can we get a picture? Of course you can. Anytime, guys. So I want to thank you guys very much again. And I'm going to leave you guys off with my tagline, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey guys, I'm the Honda Pro, and now you're in the know.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. And one thing, guys, for sure, introduce yourself when you meet him. Don't expect it for him to know you, because he'll leave. Just use your name. Be like, hey. Or show me your ID. I'm Mike. I know I gotta show me my ID. But yeah, if we've been talking through like DMs or whatever, be like, hey, I'm Mike. I have this, you know, whatever DA or whatever it is, EK. I've been talking to you. My car's blue. It's right over there. How are you? Oh, Mike, I remember you. A little pro tip. Yeah, just a little pro tip. Yeah. Now you're in the know. Now you're really in the know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. That was just a quick interview that I was able to do with Jason, Honda Pro Jason from YouTube. He was really busy. He had to catch a plane, so he was able to spare me some time. I kept the interview short because he had somebody waiting that was going to take him to the airport. First, I wanted to say thank you so much, Jason, for giving me some time to ask you some questions so I can load it up to the channel, and hopefully even though it was about 15 minutes or so, hopefully people can have a better understanding of what you do for Honda, the brand itself. It was very interesting. Maybe another day we can catch up and go in more details on everything else. So if you guys haven't checked out Honda Pro Jason's channel, check him out on YouTube. It's literally just what is it? His channel's name is Honda Pro Jason. So go click on it. I'll go ahead and put the little video thing right here. So go and check it out. I hope you guys will enjoy the video. I hope you guys enjoy Honda Pro Jason today at the old school Honda meet in Pasadena. It was great, in my opinion. And Jason was very impressed too with all the cars that just showed up. You know, literally less than a week notice. So we should be all very thankful, because according to him, everywhere else it's not like that. It takes a lot of organization, a lot of planning, and you know, we just have it. So we're very fortunate to have something like that here in the States. So alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, see you guys soon. Bye.